1,700 years ago, there wasn't a Bible as we know it today. There was a loose collection, an assemblage of scrolls and documents and manuscripts, oral transmissions that had accumulated over tremendous amounts of time. When this information was edited, what was left was further reduced and simplified, and the information was rearranged. They say, the Roman texts say, it would make sense to the average person on the street so that it would become accessible to us. We know, for example, at least 25 books were taken from what later became our Western Bible. Ladies, if you ever wonder why we don't hear more about women in the Bible, Mary, the birth of Mary, there's an entire gospel of the birth of Mary. It tells us about her mother. Her mother was 81 years old when she gave birth to Mary, had been barren all of her life. Mary was 14 years old when she was betrothed to Joseph. There are no missing years of Jesus. Really, they're missing because they were taken out of the texts. And they are powerful texts because, for example, this text, the infancy of Jesus, tells the story of a young man coming into this world just the way that we have, with powers that he is struggling to understand and how he comes to know those powers in his lifetime. This is just a sample of some of this information. These 25 books were taken from the text, and additional 20 supporting documents. So we're talking about 45 texts that disappeared 1,700 years ago. What happened before the beginning, the first and the second books of Adam and Eve? One of the most powerful technological books I've ever seen, The Secrets of the Prophet Enoch, speaking to us of the luminaries with information so accurate it could not even be confirmed until the 20th century. The scientific principles are spiritual properties, spiritual principles, practices, historic beliefs. I'm not saying they're wrong, and I believe we've done the best we could do with what we have. What I am saying is there's a very good possibility they're incomplete. Our science is good. The scientific method is good. However, we apply the scientific method where we believe there's a reason to use it. When these texts were lost, scientists found no reason to investigate a relationship between what happens in here and what happens out there. And that's changing now very quickly. This is the generation where that changes. There is one key that I believe above all other keys is so powerful that the world around us is a mirror of the beliefs that we harbor from within. They suggest that our world out there, although it looks solid, it looks tangible, that it is actually soft and malleable, like sculptor's clay. And instead of the hands of a sculptor that mold our external world, it is our consciousness. As we heal our inner challenges through forgiveness, understanding, tolerance, and compassion, that we may full well expect our outer world to mirror that to us as subtle patterns and gentle change. Do you believe in that? Emotion is magnetic in nature. Barometric pressure responds to human emotion, to mass magnetics. The ancients have said that for a long time. We didn't understand what they were saying. We may have perhaps the single most powerful force. We may harbor that within us because what we become from within is determining, from this perspective, to a large degree, what we see in the world around us. The question is, if the field is really there, and if the indigenous people know it, and if the ancient people know it, why don't we know it? What happened to our knowledge? This is a very good question. And the answer is this. In our Western tradition, and when I say Western, I'm assuming that we are of the Judeo-Christian tradition, is what I'm talking about here. There was a time when this field and the language of emotion was part of our tradition. It was in our texts. Until the 4th century, the year 325 AD. In the year 325, something happened. Our texts were edited, and we lost tremendous amounts of information. The Emperor Constantine, in the early Christian church, with the early Christian Bible, had to make decisions. What information do we include What information do we exclude? And what we know now is that at least 45 books were either completely taken away or tremendously edited into what we call today our Western biblical tradition. And when those edits were made, we lost the information that tells us everything is connected. We lost the information that tells us the language that speaks to this field. We know the information was lost because we are now recovering the information in the Dead Sea Scrolls, in the Nag Hammadi Library, in the Coptic texts. This is how we know this information was lost. How many have heard of the missing years of Jesus? Have you ever heard of the missing years of Jesus? See in the back? The 18 missing years? Why are they missing? Why are they missing? In these books, there is not only a book, there is the infancy of Jesus, book 1, the infancy of Jesus, book 2, that tells about his childhood and tells about his learning of the power in his body to heal and to change his world. How many have heard of the lost Gospel of Thomas? The lost Gospel of Thomas is powerful because it is believed to be the actual words of Jesus as he was teaching those around him how to use the power of human emotion in his life. Why don't we see more women in the Bible? One of the reasons is because when the women would write, the male-dominated church would take those books out. There's a very powerful book that was written by a Gnostic woman. And even the title of the book is so powerful. Listen to the title. The title of the book is called Thunder Perfect Mind. And she asked the question, in her writings, within me is a reflection of all possibilities. She said, I am the rich one, I am the poor one. She said, I am a virgin, and I am a whore. She said, I am the son of your mother and the daughter of your father. And I am all possibilities that you can ever imagine. I represent everything that lives within you. Why do you fear me? Why do you stone me to death at your city gates? What a powerful text. And I went down the checklist to say, what books do we keep? What books do we toss? Thunder Perfect Mind, they said it's gone because it was such a powerful book. Have you ever read the Bible and felt like it was incomplete? Have you ever read the book of Genesis? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. God breathed the breath of life into the nostrils of man, and man became a living being. We were created in one sentence in the Bible.